Hey guys, Lego Wing, I'm back with another video here, and this is probably my favorite figure in this wave here. We got Cavern Dwarf 2, an upgrade, you could say. Not really, more of a reissue with a little bit of additional stuff for the Cavern Dwarf 1, which is a lot of people's favorite figure too, and you know the dwarfs are really loved in that community. But out of this whole reinforcements wave, this might be my favorite one. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Not only does he come with a buttload, he also just looks immaculate. He looks so good. I love dwarfs also, but I mean, he looks nuts. And we're going to get into it a lot more here soon. But just off these looks alone, he is completely bronze. And if you have a dwarf, there's nothing new really. Like, at all, I don't think. And you might be saying there's no paint details, but that's because this is not supposed to have a bunch. These are very cheap figures. Each one of them costed me under $30. I think maybe like 28 bucks each. So not much more than, you know, most Marvel Legends or Jada Toys at this point. And, you know, the difference is you don't get a lot of paint details, but you get a lot of accessories and a really good looking figure. And they also take paint really well. So I'm going to take these weapons out of his hands and get into the articulation on this small guy. Okay, so I got everything off of him. And, I mean, even with everything off, he looks like a little unit. They do it really good. These giant shoulders, and then his neck peg is actually, like, super forward. I'm trying to show it a little bit, but his neck peg, specifically on these short ones, are really, like, leaning forward. But we'll start with his head articulation here. That's up. It's really not too much when they look forward. Especially, and you can't really ever get too much down on them because they normally have, like, giant beards and stuff. And he does have two heads, and I will try to show both, but I will say with these, you do get that nice. I absolutely love having the ability to kind of just twist the head. I think it does a lot for him, like animating it like that. But then, get this T-pose up. These shoulder pads mixed with the horns is a little restricting. And these pauldrons do come off. The helmet does come off. You can switch it. And you see, I'm getting a little bit under a T-pose there because I don't want to push it too hard. Just because I have that pauldron. Oh, the pauldron's going up. There we go. See, the pauldron moves up. That's a T. And then everything on here does swivel. If you do have a Mythic Legions, you do know what you're expecting, what you're getting into here. Nothing new on him at all. But there's your crunch. You get the, you know, crazy wiggle here. And you get these tiny little legs that do your basic, yeah, I would say it's a little bit more than 90, but it's basically 90. And like I said, everything swivels, you know. And, yeah, I've said it once, say it again, I'll say it every time. If you have a Mythic Legion, until these next couple waves, maybe Poxus might be the first one that's going to be coming out. Maybe Poxus or the next Cosmic Legions wave, but nothing new part-wise is out right now besides that Red Mask of Death. So, if you have it, you kind of know what you're expecting. I still love it. But let's get into these accessories now. Okay, starting off, the pauldrons don't come on him at first. These pauldrons right here, I'll say that. And also, these horns did not come on. These horns come off and on. And you can pop and swap them on depending on the size. He also comes with this secondary head, the one that I am used to. And I don't know which one of these heads originally came with this guy because this is basically just a reissue. But you get this head, which I already have a couple of. And you can take these horns, you get two. And they should just pop right into there. Like that. All my figures are super cold. I keep the house super cold, so they are a little tight. So, but, yep, you get two horns to do that with the head. Next, we have probably my favorite thing he comes with. This shield is nuts. There's not a lot of paint details, but the print details are insane. Like, dude, this is nuts. I don't have the skills to paint this, maybe a little bit of dry brushing, but this is super crazy. Maybe definitely a top 5 favorite shield in the line for me. He comes with your classic giant hammer that just about every dwarf I own has. super nice. You know, these are really easy to paint and fun to paint. I do have one painted, another one I'm supposed to paint, and I will say this also does pop off. That's like I thought, and there's other accessories and ends that you can put on there from other dwarfs, which is super fun. You have 2 axes. This one, which I don't believe I've ever had before. Really cool. And I also have this one. A lot of detail in there. I don't think I have had this one either. So, oh, and then he comes with a belt to put on. But overall, he comes with a lot of stuff. Probably, maybe the second most in this whole wave. But I am really loving this guy. And that's all he came with. So, we're going to get into size comparisons now. Okay, so I went and grabbed a few figures. I'm going to start off with my other dwarf. He's leaning a little bit. He's crouched just a slight bit. This is my custom painted one of the Legion builder that was out. And as you can see, a lot of the stuff is exactly the same. He's literally the same exact height. And he has the other helmet on. Which, this helmet you do get with the Cavern Dwarf. But it does, I will say it does restrict articulation more in my opinion. And now I'm going to throw up some of these other figures that did just come out in this wave that I have reviews up on my channel for. Starting with that Gold Knight. As you can see, these dwarfs are much, much smaller, exactly how they should be. Which is exactly how I want. I really love how they actually make it feel like that. Let me see who else I have down here. Next, I do have this giant ogre scaled guy. Who, that's a fun size comparison right there. And then we have this vampire, who is just a wee bit, not too much. Basically the horns go up to his head. So, you know, he's small, but he's not tiny. He still fits in with this world. And let me see. I have a Miles Morales here for the Sentinel. And they're around the same height. I think Miles is a wee bit shorter, not too much. Definitely a lot smaller inside a mask, though. And then I have this Toby, who is going to give me a lot of issues to get to stand. See? Every time. As soon as I try to get Toby to stand, it's some issues. But just a little bit taller if you do have any figure arts that are going to scale just a little bit smaller, I think. Okay. Okay, I'm just knocking dude over now for fun at this point. There's Marvel Legends Spider-Man. I think this is a good scale for Marvel Legends to see, and it looks, yep, scales pretty well. And here is Venom, who is much, much bigger, and I think it works very well. I will pull out 2 more figures, I believe. Both are more import, if they will get along with me. There's your Mythic Superman, or no, Mezco Superman, who is basically the same size as a Mythic, in my opinion. Then you have the actual Mafex, who is a little bit taller, but overall, you definitely get the effect that this is a dwarf. Here's probably the smallest figure I own, and Anya, who's still tinier. But overall, I think they all scale pretty well, and from here, we're going to jump to my final thoughts on this guy. Alright, so overall, I think this guy is super nice. Probably my favorite in the entire line right now. Not line, entire wave. The wave. They got some really heavy hitters in this line. But in this wave, he might be my favorite. He comes with a buttload. Maybe the most, maybe the second most. Not sure right now. But he just looks so good. I love dwarfs. He's beautiful looking. Would not buy 2, but I'm really, really happy with this one. And that should be it, guys. So if you guys like this video, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.